My name is Patricia Ann Davis. Greetings to all my relatives. I will introduce myself in the Navajo language, or as we call ourselves, Dene. Patricia Ann Davis in Shia, a Mississippi band of Choctaw in Shla. Tchachitni, Bashonchin, Chata, Dene, Eda Shache, Kia Ani, Eda Shanala. And what I have said in the Navajo or Dene language is, I know who I am, I know where I come from, the Creator, I know where I'm going in time and direction, clockwise from east, south, west to north, and I know how to get there on the 4 corn pollen footsteps. That is an example of how the English language can be translated from a spiritual tribal language. I'm the youngest daughter of the late Anselm Davis Sr. from Lukachikai, who was a diagnostician and practitioner. And I am also a diagnostician and practitioner by lineage, by ancestry, by initiation, tribal, ceremonial initiation, and also my father was my teacher. I can be reached and contacted on my website, which is www.nativeamericanconcepts.com, and I'm a consultant, a trainer, and a counselor. I've been to 7 different countries teaching indigenous Native American spirituality. In these teachings are basically 2 concepts, blessing way and protection. I'm here today among a group of people who have gathered for the Echo April gathering. We are planning, dialoguing for the visit of the Dalai Lama in April in Seattle, Washington. And I am designing 2 ceremonial change processes from our indigenous language called Blessing Way Peacemaking Ceremonial Change Process. And one is in the context of intergenerational, that is to heal the misunderstandings between adults, elder, and young people. And the other is to reframe the socioeconomic language into out of a win-lose worldview into a win-win worldview, and that is cross-cultural. So one is intergenerational, one is cross-cultural. I'm involved and participating in this Echo April gathering as part of the NICO, or Northwest Coast Interfaith Community Outreach, sponsored by John Hale, and also the Intera Project, who is founded by John Raymer. And I'm pleased to be talking about indigenous native spirituality, and especially about our ceremonial way of life, which is in the context of the natural order. And the natural order is very simply east, south, west, and north. So that's interrelated with time and direction, sunrise, noon, and evening, and midnight. And then the cycle of seasons, spring, summer, fall, winter. And the 4 races of people born in the holy and sacred circle. Metaphorically, we say white shell, turquoise, abalone, and jet for white people, red people, yellow people, and black people. So in our tribal language, we do not have a concept of hierarchy or patriarchy or status or conquest. And conquest mentality is power over. In our own language, we have concepts of spirituality that they're not a belief system, they are describing a spiritual self-identity of power within to have power with. It's an intrapersonal process and then interpersonal process, from creator to our true self, our soul, our light being, to our intellect. I call it the sacred self-intellect, to our heart and then to our hands, and that's how we manifest peacemaking, and that's how we have power within to have power with. And then we don't need power over. And so we have 4 phases of conquest that happened in history. They are genocide, which instilled fear of survival; conversion, which is take away and replace. Take away the sacred self-identity within the natural order and replace it by the deficient self-image that instill shame and guilt. And the 3rd phase is boarding school and relocation. So my parents and myself were subjected to boarding school mentality and relocation to urban cities. This instilled multi-generational, unresolved anger issues due to loss of land, loss of ceremony, loss of songs and prayers and relatives. And we are now in the 4th phase of conquest, which is exploitation and victimization. That is self-destruct. In other words, we are socially engineered and conditioned to use our 5 senses as a weapon against ourselves and others. And therefore, the core issue, in diagnosing the core issue, then we are all hoping for a renaissance and a renewal of our spiritual self-identity through the phases of ceremony. And the ceremonial change process is naming the out-of-balance condition, emptying all of the maladaptive emotions into the authentic feelings, which is a reframing and a thought reversal process. The 3rd phase is the co-creative solution, and I use that word co-creative meaning also with creator. Then there is blessing, which is the action steps of manifesting, the win-win creative solution. Then there's a life application. What is the practical application of reframing the products and services that go from the poor to the rich every generation? That reframe from win-lose, which is no win for everybody, is reframed into win-win, and that moves from elder to youth and the next generation in leadership, in communication, in relationship, in decision-making, and equity in our resource allocation. And all of these concepts are coined into one word, which I will say first in the Navajo language and translate that into English as love currency. In our language, we call it Hojoj Ke'ina, which is talking about celebrating the abundance in life from one generation to the other. And that is our hope for the visit of the Dalai Lama and all the people gathering from the 4 directions. The overarching agenda theme is Seeds for Compassion, and within that context, the ceremonies that I am designing are called Love Currency for Compassionate Living. And you may contact me at my website, www.nativeamericanconcepts.com.